Earwood right here. Anyway, I'm the Eastern Regional Bridge Construction Engineer, so good to see you guys. Thanks for coming. All right, why do we need to overlay bridges anyway? What's the right? Why would we want to do anything to that? Any issues you see over here? Yes, sir.
Rideability?
Rideability, yeah, very good.
Replace the wearing surface.
Replace the wearing surface. Yeah.
It's only going to get worse.
Yeah. So what's going to happen if we leave it like that? What's that? Keep popping out? Yeah, what's going to get down, what's below the surface that you can't see right now? Rebar, right? That salt brine they put in the wintertime, getting down there. I've heard somebody refer to that as liquid bridge remover. So that gets down, that salt gets down into the rebar, starts corroding the steel, which I'm sure in this bridge, in this particular case, has probably already done that. So we want to address all those things. Rideability, maintenance, constant patching, protecting our rebar, the life of that structure, because that can surely shorten the life of that bridge. So this is just a quick report card. Bridge structure management inspects bridges every 2 years. The substructure, superstructure. The decks, they get a grade, so they rank them from 3 to 9. So you can see we've got a lot of bridges in North Carolina, over 13,000. You can see here that satisfactory and below, we've got around 39% of our bridges are in those categories. So those are in pretty bad shape. If you lump 7 and below, we're at 90%. So I kind of wonder when I see this is when we first open a new bridge, does it go in the good category or below sometimes? Hopefully they're starting off in the very good or excellent, but you know as well as I do, probably some of them don't. But again, we want to preserve the bridges up that are in very good or excellent condition for sure, and even the good ones. And the ones that are in 6, 5, 4, or 3, we either want to rehab those so that it gets more life out of them, or if they're so bad, then obviously we're going to replace them. So it gets to a point where you can't even do anything to it. All right. These are our options that we have in our toolbox with DOT at this time for bridge deck overlays. Latex modified concrete, we have used that for years, probably over 30 years. Probably the same with epoxy. Those are tried and true overlay systems that we've done in North Carolina for a long time. Not going to really be covering latex today. We covered it in 2012. That's our structures training for that year. That was our topic. We spent the whole 3 or so hours on latex concrete. So we're not going to get into that too much today. Plus, M&T is developing a certification program. So if any of you are on a latex modified concrete project in the future, you will have to go through that M&T certification program, have your inspector card, and to be able to inspect that. So they're working on that program. Contractors have to be certified as well. So anyway, so that's something we're not going to get into that today. We are going to cover epoxies. The bottom 3 are 3 new systems that we're going to be using in North Carolina. You'll start to see them. Some of them have just been begun in the last 2 or 3 months. So, but you're going to see them. They're getting spread widely across the state. All right, so here's another chart that shows the different options we have. You can see up at the top is the cheapest. It starts off at $2 to $3 per square foot, and then it continues to get more expensive as you go down the list. But you can see it also, the lifespan that can be expected out of those overlays or treatments goes up as well with the cost. But you can see if we can do some of these ones up here at the top for this, while the bridge is in really good condition, for maybe 2 or 3 or even $5 a square foot, and go ahead and get another 7 to 10 years, but do that on a cycle, then we can preserve those good bridges or those very good bridges for a long time and just keep extending their life. Once you get down to a certain level, you start having to do a little bit more of a hardy or beefy overlay. And then when you get down to the bottom, you can see the Hydrodemo here. That Hydrodemo actually goes down and blasts out the bad concrete, gets those chlorides out, and that's why the cost has gone up so much there because of the preparation. All right, first thing I'm going to talk about is surface prep, because this applies to pretty much all the overlays. I made a list of all the things I could think of. A lot of these are listed in special provision. we've got to get the deck clean. Cameron talked about it in his stuff, same thing applies to the deck. Chloride's there, it's got a little star beside it because there's only one type of preparation that's going to get those chlorides out, and that's the Hydrodemo. So that's why it's got a star there. We're chipping it out, but you can't chip out the whole deck. My hand, that would be almost impressive. These are our types of surface prep that you'll see in your contract. The first one, scarifying bridge deck, that's basically milling. Your contract will have that line item in it if we want you to do that. That kind of depends on the grade, if we're taking it out. We always see milling before we do hydrodemo, so if you have a hydrodemo, you'll see that. Again, hydrodemo is basically high pressure water that blasts the concrete out. Shot blasting, it utilizes steel shot, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. Concrete deck repair. So all these different provisions for these different types of overlays sometimes use a little bit different language. It might call it concrete deck repair for epoxy overlay. It might call it class 2 or class 3, but just so anytime in North Carolina DOT, class 2 repair is a partial depth removal. You go at least 3/4 inches below the rebar so you can get good coverage around the rebar. Class 3 is a full depth removal. So anytime you see, we do that in new construction. Say, got a deck pour, somebody puts a footprint in, a deep footprint, and we want to fix it, or there's whatever, we'll say, hey, square that off, do a class 2 repair. They saw the edges, 90-degree corners, vertical edges, chip out below the rebar, and then patch it back. So that's our terminology. So I'm going to step back here for a second. There's a video here that kind of gives you a good idea. Sound concrete determine the class 2 or class 3 repairs. Again, the structure plans should give you an idea if you're going to need to do that stuff, but you still need to sound it because they may not even have it in the contract, and you'd have to do that yourself. I had trouble yesterday. Okay. But again, check out that construction resources, a lot of other videos you can watch. That's always available as a resource. All right, LMC. Again, that's the only overlay system that uses Hydrodemo. And one of the main reasons is it uses water, which obviously wets the deck surface. Latex modified concrete requires it to be saturated surface dry. It has to be wet. All the other overlays I'm going to talk about today have to be dry. So you can't use LMC. I guess you could use it if you could latex and let it dry out for a few days, but most of the time we don't have that option. And it's really not necessary. All right, shot blasting, again, that's the other option for deck cleaning. And then all 4 overlay systems that I'm going to talk about today use shot blasting as a surface prep. So what is shot blasting? It's a process of basically blasting it with steel shot, kind of like little BBs. It uses a high velocity. You can see this guy riding this machine. It's they're all fairly similar. He just goes back and forth in a pattern and cleans off the deck. This probably has a lot more dust and smoke than I would like to see out of this one, because that's just going to be more cleaning. We got a picture later on of a machine running absolutely no smoke coming out of it, or no dust. But anyway, it's a pretty simple process. Here you can see a couple guys using hand equipment, scarification, walk behind shot blaster. These are going to be something they might go back and get a small area, or an area where the other riding machine can't get to. You can see here the little shot right here in the middle. Here's a closer up image of it. Basically looks like little BBs. The machine sucks the majority of those back up and reuse them. It just kind of keeps recycling them. But it's going to leave these little steel shot over the bridge. So they'll have to clean all those up. And I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. Again, it's like a BB, right? Here's Ralphie from the Christmas Story wanting his Red Ryder BB gun. He kept telling me he's going to shoot his eye out. That can happen. You can stand over on the side, and every now and then you'll feel a little shot hit you. So you've got to wear safety glasses. Anytime you're anywhere close to this, you've got to wear safety glasses, or you're going to feel like little Ralphie here. Also, if it's going to shoot out and hit us, possibly our eyes or legs or whatever, cars are driving by us. We got to do some kind of protection for the vehicles if they're running right beside you when you're doing the operation, if you can't close the road down. So use caution. However, I will say that even though I say that you can hit you, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't hurt that bad unless it hits your eye. you've got to get there and look at the operation, okay? You don't need to be right there behind it, but if he makes a pass or two, you need to be there looking at that surface, because if he missed a spot, that's the time to get it taken care of. This is a pretty fast machine, it goes back and forth, he can take care of it no problem, come back, make another pass or two. If he's done, and you're sitting over in the truck, and then you go and inspect his work, and he's already got the thing loaded up on the truck ready to go, and the overlay, they're getting to replace that overlay, that's going to be a problem, right? He's not going to want to have to come all the way back and take care of that. So get there and look at it as he's doing it. Again, it's a fast process. It gets the surface clean, is what we're looking for. Gives it a little bit of a profile, helps with the bond, easily clean. And the main thing for these overlays is it's dry. It's not going to make it wet, and that's what they need. Here's the part of the cleanup process. It's basically a rolling magnet. So magnet on wheels. It's nothing too fancy. Here he's kind of gone around, made passes, and then dumped all the steel shot in one place. You can see kind of up at the top of the picture, the machine's going to make his way down there. He'll suck that right back up and keep shot blasting. So it's just a process. After they've gone through, sucked all that steel up with a magnet, you got to come through with compressed air and blow the deck off. All right, this is not a leaf blower. This is a air compressor with a blowpipe, because that's going to get the job done. Just make sure that they're using water and oil-free compressed air. If you don't know if it is, you can check it. You can get a piece of cardboard, have them hold the blowpipe on it for a minute or two. If there's droplets of water or oil, then they've got to do some maintenance or some modifications to their air compressor. But we don't want them putting oil and water on our deck that we're getting ready to overlay. So just make sure they clean it off really good, because that's critical to the overlay's success. Here you can see, going back to what I was talking about, this one had milling because they had asphalt overlay on the bridge. So they milled in advance of the shot blasting. They didn't get it all. So the shot blaster is going through. In this particular case, he was pretty much wrapping up, and we had to point out, hey, you haven't got all the asphalt up. You got to continue to do this. So if we had waited, he'd loaded it all up, then he likely would have just left it there. But if you tell them you're there watching it, go ahead and get the rest of the asphalt up. That's what you got to do. Those machines, although they can get pretty close to the edge, they can't get all the way to the edge, so they got to be prepared for sandblasting. Obviously, this doesn't get sucked up, so they're going to have to blow that off with air compressor.
And that's just sand.
Just sand, yeah. I like this picture because it just kind of gives you a good difference between what's been cleaned and what's not. And again, this is a fast process. They can easily go back if they've missed a little stretch right here. It's easy to go back and do it if you tell them, or if they see it, or if you tell them that they've missed something. This is the ICRI concrete surface profile scale. As you can see from up here at the top, acid etch to grinding, and then down into your medium shot blast, heavy shot blast, extreme shot blast there at the end. So this is just kind of a scale. We don't really address this in our provision of a requirement. Some of the overlay systems will say, shot blast to a CSP5 or a CSP6. So you need to read the product data sheet. But this just kind of gives you, and there's little cards that you can get. Again, we don't necessarily do that. Maybe the contractor has those. But really, we're just looking for a good shot blast surface to get everything clean, have a little bit of profile to open up that top layer of grout paste to expose the sand, a little bit of the aggregate. All right. After they finish shot blasting, we want to drive on it and walk around with muddy boots and let traffic back on it before we put our overlay down. No. So the only equipment that should be on the deck is what's going to be needed for the overlay. But sometimes, you might get a rainstorm after they shot blasted. It's wet. They have to put that off till the next night. Got to open it back up. So they've already shot blasted it, so the next night it's dry. They're getting ready to do the overlay. Do they have to shot blast again? Yes, they got to shot blast again. If they've already shot blasted once, they probably can make a quick pass through each thing. They don't, we're just cleaning whatever fell on it right then. But they do need to go back over it. All right, any questions on surface prep? That surface prep is pretty much going to apply across the board for the rest of the morning.